Welcome to our introduction to PBB. What is PBB? In one of the videos I've been dropping, I dropped in time past, I talked about PBB. I said that PBB means PBB. The acronym PBB stands for plant for P, biology for this, and biotechnology. So most of the videos I'll be dropping on topic called PBB, it will be important for A-level students and equally for O-level students. Here is the story. If you're an O-level student watching this video, it then means that you have successfully covered all the O-level aspect of plant biology, then plus additional, which is the A-level part. So this video covers a lot of things when it comes to plants. So whenever we write PBB, what we are trying to discuss is plant biology and biotechnology. Now, for such, there are many topics in PBB. Even some of the videos I've been dropping in time past, some of them are from PBB. Now, introduction to PBB. We notice something that plants are very, very, very important for humans, we humans. As a matter of fact, without plants, it is impossible for man to survive on planet Earth. As a matter of fact, even other animals like goats, sheep, cattle, it is impossible for all of us to survive without plants being in existence. As a matter of fact now, even plants helps us to control pollution to some great extent, if you understand biology, by the process of what? Photosynthesis. Photosynthesis. Now, one thing about biology is that you need not to cram anything, you need to understand the concepts. We said that for photosynthesis, green plants, why do we use the word green? Because it's only green plants or green leaves or green parts of plants that is capable of carrying out photosynthesis. And when plants are to carry out photosynthesis, this is what happens. The next reaction that happens, we say that in photosynthesis, carbon dioxide combines with what? Water to give us C6H12O6 plus what now? O2. We put an arrow on top like that to show that oxygen is given off as byproduct during photosynthesis. To balance this equation, carbon here is 6, it then means there should be 6 here. Then to balance this guy, there should be 6 here, and then there should be 6 here. Check all the equation, everything is balanced. Carbon here is 6, carbon there is 6, balanced. Look out for the hydrogen, 2 times 6 is 12. For the hydrogen here, we have 12, balanced. Look at for oxygen, 2 times 6 here is 12, plus 6 is 18. 2 times 6 here is what? 12, plus 6 is what? 18. So everything here is balanced. 6, 6, 6 there gives us the balanced chemical equation. This is equation we call photosynthesis. And as a matter of fact, you are now seeing that photosynthesis, plants make use of carbon dioxide. How does the carbon dioxide enter the plant? We say that the carbon dioxide enters by the process of diffusion. Of course, we said that carbon dioxide is in the atmosphere and it makes up 0.03% by volume of air. It then means that this is in the atmosphere naturally like that. So carbon dioxide fuses into the leaves through the stomata of plants by process of diffusion. By process called diffusion. We now know that plants are able to carry out photosynthesis, and by doing so, they remove one of the gases that causes pollution in the atmosphere. Of course, look at it, the CO2. Of course, if you studied chemistry, if you are studying environmental chemistry, me myself studied environmental chemistry when I was in college, and I saw certain things concerning environmental chemistry. Even these days, there is an aspect of chemistry introduced called the green chemistry. The green chemistry. Most countries have started practicing the green chemistry, which helps us to remove the deadly poisonous gases in the atmosphere and gives us which increases the lifespan of people. Of course, in the next video, I will dive into all these things. Back to business. Is plants, the plants we are talking about, are they important to human beings? Yes. Why? This is the first product of photosynthesis, and for such, this is glucose. Do man feed on glucose? Yes. As a matter of fact, in the hospital, we even measure the blood sugar level, which is the glucose in the blood. It then means that human being cannot survive except we have glucose. Having said so, moving on now, plant biology and biotechnology focuses on the importance of plant to human life and everyday human endeavor, how we use these plants. So I will move on now straight to point. One next thing I need to tell you before I continue is that when studying plant biology, if you want to be a good student at plant biology, you must understand what is called botanical names. Botanical names, and of course, equally what is called the scientific names. Scientific names, you must understand these two things now. Because examiners do not give you common names. You cannot see exam question that says, which of these have buttress root? And you are seeing something like maize in the option. You can't see something like that. For example, botanical name, we have the following. When we say Z-maize, I will need to underline this as a rule in biology, that botanical names need to be underlined. Z-maize, this will be what now? This is your maize, common maize, you know. So, of course, at university level, what the examiner makes use of is the botanical name. What if I say bambusa? Look at this one. Bambusa. If I say bambusa, that will mean bamboo tree. It will mean bamboo. And if I say manihot tortillissima, look at this one. The botanical name should be underlined. Manihot. Look at the spelling. Manihot. This is I, this is H. Manihot tortillissima. Some certain texts may call this manihot SPP. This stands for cassava, all right? This one stands for cassava. Now, why am I giving you all these things? In the introductory part of PBB, there is something called man's dependence on plants. How does man depend on plants? Do man depend on plants? Yes. The answer is yes. I've explained. Without photosynthesis, none of us will survive. Aside from photosynthesis, it equally removes poisonous gases from the atmosphere, which can increase our lifespan. And then, the part called man's dependence on plants, when we say man's dependence on plants, class, what it will mean is, how are plants important to human beings, me and you? And I'm diving into that now by giving you some plants here. If you notice something, there are herbal medicines. It then means some plants, some leaf of plants are used for medicinal purposes. For example, is carica papaya. When we say carica papaya, we mean pawpaw. As a matter of fact, during my project, I studied some species of pawpaw, and we discovered that there is the male pawpaw and then there is the female one. The male pawpaw, the leaf is used for medicinal purposes. As a matter of fact, it is used in manufacturing of many herbal medicines that can cure several diseases, malaria, etc. So, man depends on plants a lot to survive. For example, is carica papaya I've just mentioned now. Carica papaya, and this is what now? Pawpaw. Like I said, the seed of carica papaya is used in manufacturing of drugs. Even the leaf of carica papaya is used in manufacturing of what? Medicine. That's the herbal medicine. Now, moving on now to Z-maize. Of course, Z-maize is corn. If you have seen cornflakes, if you are seeing golden morn, all these products are made from maize. And maize, botanical name is what now? Z maize. Of course, if you watch some of the previous videos I've been dropping on PBB, you will discover I said that Z maize is an example of what? Example of an annual plant or an annual crop. A crop that lives and complete its life cycle within 1 year. Now, maize is very, very important to man. Even bamboo tree is used even during building and construction. So are you not seeing that man dependence on plant is correct? Yes. Man depends on plant for almost everything. So I'm going to give a lot of botanical names here that are very, very, very important. Now, look at this is 1, 2, 3, 4. Manual Totilissima, we say this one is cassava. If you have, you see different products manufactured from cassava. We know gari, the one that in Africa here they call gari. The gari is called the cassava flakes. So this is a common name, even here in Nigeria, we know it to be gari. So it is made from what? Manual Totilissima, which is what? Cassava. And now you see that man depends on plant for survival. Alright? Moving on beyond that, I have even talked about bambusa used in building and construction. Because the stem of bambusa is hollow. The internode of the stem is hollow. It then means the inside has space. And some persons usually watching the video, even on YouTube, why some people use it to transport water from water stream to their homes. So bambusa are very, very important. Look at this one, Manual Totilissima, I've talked about it. Then, more importantly, look at this plant. Ileis guinensis. Guinensis. Double E. Ileis guinensis. Ileis guinensis is known as oil palm. Oil palm. Here in Africa, we have oil palm, and the oil palm is used in manufacturing of red oil. Red oil generally consumed even here in Nigeria and abroad, everywhere in Europe, everywhere in the world. We use red oil, and it is manufactured from a plant called Ileis guinensis, oil palm. Now, red oil is a rich source of vitamin A, which is good for eyesight. Vitamin A can be gotten from red oil, which is good for eyesight. Very, very important. You can now see that man depends on plants directly or indirectly to survive. Moving on now, there's another plant I must tell you. But there are many plants that are very, very, very important. There is this one called Colocasia esculenta. Colocasia esculenta. Colocasia esculenta is what? Cocoyam. Cocoyam is very, very important to man and is used as an alternative to yam itself. Even yam itself is very, very, very important. Very, very, very important. Sorry. So yam is what? Dioscorea alata. But it is important I tell students that whenever we say Dioscorea alata, it is a particular species of yam. What species? The white yam. It then means that anything that carries the word Dioscorea, it will mean yam, but it may be a different species of yam. So Dioscorea alata, I said that this one is what? White yam. Is yam important to man? Yes. A rich source of carbohydrates. Now, looking at another one, Dioscorea bulbifera. These are botanical names. Dioscorea bulbifera is another species of yam, and this species is called the wild yam. The yam that is usually found in the bush. Usually, this one is not edible. When they dig, if you dig ground, if you dig the soil to a great extent, you see this type of yam. It's not usually edible because it's somewhat poisonous, but it's a species of yam. Then there is also Dioscorea rotundata. Rotundata will mean water yam, water yam, water yam. So there are many species of yam. If you say Dioscorea alata, we mean white yam. Dioscorea bobifera, wild yam. Dioscorea rotundata, water yam. Dioscorea cayennensis, that will mean yellow yam. Why am I mentioning all these things? Why am I writing them? Because I said now that in PBB, forget about it if you don't know botanical names. So botanical name is the strength of examiners and even students in PBB. Moving on beyond all these ones now. So for man's dependent on plant, I have just explained that plant is very, very, very important to man, and for such, I've given examples of such plants. All right. Moving on beyond this now, I will talk about few things we have in the introduction, in the introductory parts, so that in my next video, I will dive into kingdom monerans. So kingdom monerans will be the next topic that will be in my next video. And when I will be discussing kingdom monerans, I will be talking about the bacteria. So endeavor to subscribe and turn on your notification bell. So when next I drop a video, you will be notified. Moving beyond this, we have something called ecology. I'm not diving into this now. I'll talk more on ecology when I get to AEB, Animal and Environmental Biology. But for plant biology, there's something I just want to introduce here, which is factors affecting population. Factors affecting population. Factors affecting population. All right. For the factors affecting population, you may wonder, why am I bringing it here? We have population of human beings, and we equally have population of plants. We define population as group of organisms of the same species. The word same species must be there in a given habitat. Why habitat is the living home of an organism or a dwelling place of an organism. Moving on now, students usually mention death rate, birth rate, immigration and immigration whenever we ask them factors affecting population. But take note that that is wrong. All right? Because population itself has characteristics. And when we say characteristics of population, we have following so many things. Population have characteristics called size. It have topography. Topography. All right? We equally have percentage cover. Percentage cover. Percentage cover. We have frequency. Frequency, which means the number of times an organism appears in a given habitat. All these are characteristics of a population. So when you are asked, what are the factors affecting a population, and you are mentioning birth rate, death rate, emigration and immigration, 4 of them, what you are answering is, you are just telling us factors affecting population size. That is what you are telling us. But for the factors affecting a population, if the word size is not there, we group them into 2. Pardon me, this my matters are not writing down much. We'll have to manage it for now. Factors affecting a population, we have 2. Density dependent, density dependent, density dependent, and density what? Independent. Density independent. These are 2 factors affecting a population. When I'm done with this, that will be all for this video. So by next video, I will continue. Density dependent and density independent factors affecting population. When we say density dependent, it means that these factors I'm going to list here affect a population and they are controlled by density. They are affected by density. Of course, from secondary school, we knew that there's something called population density. And what's population density? We said population density is the average number of organisms in a particular area of farmland or area of a given habitat. So that's what we call population density. For examples of density dependent factors affecting population, I will use the acronym I call DCPP to give you everything there. DCPP, D means disease. D stands for disease. The C stands for what? Competition. 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 And then the P stands for predation. Predation. That's one of the P's there. Why the other P? Stand for what? Parasite. 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 So parasite. So density dependent factors, we have them as DCPP. DCPP is the acronym you can use to capture all of them. One is disease. How? Remember when coronavirus came, all of us were asked to maintain social distancing. What does it mean? It then means that if we gather too many in a particular place, it means that this disease, coronavirus, will spread from person to person at a faster rate. So, increase in density of a population, increase in disease, and what? The population will be reduced. Are you seeing it now? So, when disease comes, it spreads faster when population is much. So, that is why. Does it depend on density now? Yes, it depends on density. Density controls it. The same thing with competition. Imagine a family that have 7 children. The 7 children will have to compete for food, for space, for light, for oxygen, for different things. So it may even lead to death in the environment. Even predation, of course. The more the population, predation will be on the increase. Parasite will spread if there is much number of people at a particular place. What about the density independent factors? What about these factors I call density independent? It then means that these ones are factors affecting population, but they do not depend on density. It then means that whether people are much, whether people are small, whether the population is much, whether they are small, these factors do not want to know. They will affect the population of people. What are these factors now? We have them as natural disasters. Right? All natural disasters are factors affecting a population, and for such they do not depend on density. Name them. You can say earthquake. All right? Earthquake is an example. Earthquake is a natural disaster. When earthquake comes here, it does not ask you how many of you are here. It wipes up everybody here. Whether we are much, whether we are 10, whether we are 100, whether we are 500, it will take its course. It means that density does not affect this kind of factor. Other factors are flooding. You can say flooding or flood. Then you can talk about erosion. These are natural disasters. You can talk about droughts, which is dryness, all right? Then so many things you can talk about when you talk about even tornadoes, volcanoes, volcanic eruption. All of them are factors affecting the population, and for such, they do not depend on density. This is all we can take. This is much we can take on this first video. In our next video, we will continue. Then I will enter into, in the next video, I'll finish the introductory part of this class, where I'll be telling you about the different systems, the living system, artificial system, and etc. And then I'll talk about photosynthesis. Here I gave the equation of reaction. In that video, I'm going to elaborate more on photosynthesis so that you don't cram this aspect of biology. Then in our third video that is going to come, I'm going to drop soon, we'll be talking about the kingdom monerans. Kingdom monerans. So that is important to us in PBB. All right? Kingdom monerans is a topic found in PBB. So for such, we will take care of it in the third video. Remember to like this video. Remember to subscribe. Turn on your notification bell so that you get notified whenever I drop the next video. Share this video to all platforms. Share it so that your friends can see this video and benefit just as you have benefited. Thank you, and see you in our next video.